Hello and welcome to another week of Sambo iRacing. We are back in the brand new M4, BMW M4, the G82 GT4 edition. We are using the fixed setup here for the Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course. This is going to be used this season in the Falken GT4 Challenge and also the BMW M Power Tour. So good couple of series there that it's going to be used in. If you are new to my channel, what I do is I'm going to show you the hot lap, then I'm going to do a slightly more boring lap where I slow it all down, show you where my braking markers are, and then we do a chase cam, and then for those crazy people that are using the driving line, we do one final lap showing you my line as opposed to driving line. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Also, there is a Dropbox link to my BLAP, so if you want to race against my ghost, be my guest and download that. Right, let's start the lap. Okay, let's start the lap. Right over on the left hand side, almost touching the paintwork, in 6th gear, looking for that 400 meter marker, getting it down all the way down to 3rd gear, getting it back across, getting the power down as much as we possibly can, up to 4th gear, just dabbing the brakes, trailing it off, back on the throttle as soon as you can, fighting that torque, cutting the corner, exiting nice and wide. It's a long drag down this straight. We will be using 6th gear. Now I'm looking for the braking mark on the right hand side, the 300 meters, down to 3rd, back on the gas. Going over to the left hand side so we can just do a lift here, little dab of the brakes. Back on the gas again, cutting this corner as best as we can. Really trying to feel for that grip. If you do just dump the throttle, you are just going to have a terrible time in this car so often. Over to the left hand side, down to 3rd. Trying to open up this final corner, or second last corner. Trailing it off, back in the throttle. So many times I washed out here in practice, just holding the throttle, and over and across the line in a 130.632. It's not my favorite course at all, but I had some practice of it yesterday in the GR86, sorting out the guides for that. It's going to be one of those that maybe the racing is going to be quite good, but to practice on, it is quite boring, as a lot of these oval road courses are. Anyway, now we'll start the breakdown lap. Okay, let's start this. So we're over on the left hand side, and honestly we are nearly touching paintwork here on the wall, and what we're looking for is the 500 meter marker as we get there. So just as we get to the 500 meter marker, we are on the brakes forever. So I've already explained in a previous video, so because this isn't an endurance race, it's only a 15-minute race, we can actually use a lot more of the ABS. It's not going to wear your tyres out. I ran 2 different half-an-hour stints on this, and I was as fast or faster after 25 minutes than I was after 10 minutes. So it's not going to hammer it. You can see my tyre pressures there. Anyway, we're getting all the braking done in a straight line. So only as we start to turn in do we start releasing that brake, dropping it down from 6th gear down to 3rd gear. At the apex, we're getting back on the throttle. You can't go 100% initially. You've got to wait until you straight a little bit, and now we're just dabbing the brakes through turn 2. It's basically a chicane. Getting back on the throttle nice and early. We may have to correct a bit of oversteer there. Up to 4th gear, and then basically as soon as we get sort of half the way across, we're going to start braking in a straight line towards the outside of the turn, and we're just going to trail that all the way down. We're going to leave it in 3rd gear and get back on the throttle nice and early. We're going to try and be getting to 100% throttle on the apex as I am now. Now we're just absolutely hammer down. Jump that curb on the right hand side. Now when we're practicing, we're trying not to get too bored here as we look for the 400 meter marker, and as I get that, or this little access road on the right hand side, as I get into the access road, Again, I'm jumping on the brakes, trying to wipe all the speed off in a straight line, drop it down to 4th gear, drop it down to 3rd gear, trailing it off down to the apex, and then as you hit the apex, getting back on the throttle. Again, you're going to have to be patient with the throttle, wait until your car's settled, get back out to the left-hand side, then we're going to start turning in, we're going to do a big lift on the throttle, just a little tap on the brakes, just to 20% there or thereabouts. Again, not necessarily to slow the car, more to change the weight distribution, get those front tyres kicking in as extra weight is added to them. Back up on 100% throttle, and then again, little dab of the brakes, up to 25%, getting back on the throttle nice and early. We really want to open up turn 10 as we're coming into it here, this right-hander. And as we do that, just a tiny dab on the brakes, up to 15%. This is quite a lenient cut that you're allowed here in iRacing without getting an off track. And as we now come away from turn 10's apex, we're just going to build up on the throttle. It's quite a slippy corner. And now we want to try and be on the throttle all the way to turn 12. Up to 4th gear. Using the inside curbing here as we change up to 5th gear. And now, as you can see, the 300-meter marker board coming up there. We're actually going to brake just before then as we're moving towards the wall. And as we get there, we're going to brake in a straight line towards the outside of the apex. Outside of the turn. So we get a nice wide entry. We're going to drop it down to 3rd gear. We're going to trail it off. And then at the apex, we're going to get back up onto the throttle. Actually having to be really, really patient around here. Back up to 100% now. And then just as we get to the outside of this final sort of left-hander, we're going to dab on the brakes up to 40%, trail it off down to the inside, getting back on the throttle nice and early so that as we exit the corner, we can get back up to 100%. Now, this is a very slippy corner, so you really have to feel for the grip. As you can see, I've only just gone up to 100% throttle at this point now. Find you'll end up with a lot of torque steer if you're not too careful. And there we are, across the line in a 130.632. Now, full speed without my commentary, you'll be pleased to hear from the chase cam. No commentary, but I do love that exhaust. Okay, one final run through from the cockpit with the driving line on. As always, you guys, thanks for watching. I've been Sambo iRacing, and I'll see you guys in the week. Or with the amount I'm posting at the minute, probably in about another 2 days.